Have you ever wondered how we become who we are? The answer lies in the complexity of psychological development, a fascinating journey that starts from the moment we're born and continues throughout our lives, shaping us into the unique individuals we become. Psychological development is a multifaceted process, akin to a tapestry woven with threads of various colors, each representing different aspects of our being. These threads are influenced by a multitude of factors, with heredity and environment playing pivotal roles. Our genetic makeup, the blueprint we inherit from our parents, sets the stage for our development. It's like the initial sketch of a painting, providing the basic structure. However, it's our environment that adds color to this sketch, filling in the details and refining the picture. Your upbringing, your experiences, the culture you grow up in, all contribute to your psychological development, shaping your attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. These hereditary and environmental influences intertwine to shape three key aspects of our psychological development: emotional, cognitive, and social. Emotional development pertains to how we learn to understand, express, and manage our emotions. Cognitive development, on the other hand, involves the growth of our intellectual abilities like learning, memory, problem-solving, and decision-making. Social development revolves around how we interact with others and understand social norms. Every experience we have, every interaction, every triumph and setback, they all contribute to our emotional, cognitive, and social development. It's a continuous, lifelong process of learning and adapting, of evolving and growing. This understanding of psychological development isn't just academic. It provides valuable insights into our own behavior and that of others. It helps us understand why we react the way we do, why others behave the way they do. It fosters empathy and compassion, promoting better interpersonal relationships. Understanding this process can help us comprehend our own development and that of others around us. Imagine your life as a jigsaw puzzle, with some pieces coming from your genes and some from your environment. The complexity of our psychological development is akin to putting together this intricate puzzle. Each piece, whether it's from our genes or our environment, plays a crucial role in shaping who we are. Let's delve into this fascinating interplay between heredity and environment. Our genes, inherited from our parents, provide the basic blueprint of our physical and psychological traits. These genetic instructions influence everything from the color of our eyes to our predispositions for certain behaviors and mental health conditions. Yet, these genes aren't the whole story. They're like the outline of our puzzle, setting the general shape but not filling in all the details. The rest of the puzzle is filled in by our environment, the world in which we live and grow. This includes our upbringing, our cultural and social experiences, our education, relationships, and even the food we eat. Each of these environmental factors contributes a unique piece to our puzzle, adding color, texture, and depth to our genetic outline. To illustrate this, let's consider a classic psychological study involving twins. Twins share the same genetic makeup, yet they can develop very differently depending on their individual experiences. For instance, one twin might develop a love for music after being exposed to musical instruments at a young age, while the other twin, raised in a different environment, might develop an interest in sports. This shows how our environment can shape our interests, behaviors, and even our personality, adding unique pieces to our genetic puzzle. Yet it's important to note that our genes and environment are not separate entities, but rather they interact in complex ways. Our genes can influence how we respond to our environment, and our environment can influence how our genes express themselves. So the puzzle of who we are is constructed from both our genetic makeup and our life experiences. Each piece, whether it's from our genes or our environment, is essential in creating the beautiful, unique, and intricate puzzle that is you. To fully understand psychological development, we must consider the biopsychosocial approach. This intriguing model is like a three-legged stool where each leg represents a different factor: biological, psychological, and social. All three legs are crucial for the stool to stand upright, just as these factors are critical for our development. Let's start with the biological leg. It encompasses our genetic makeup, brain chemistry, and even hormones. These elements are like the basic blueprint of our development, setting the stage for our potential growth. Now, onto the psychological leg. This involves our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It's like the painter who adds color and texture to the basic blueprint, creating a unique masterpiece. Lastly, we have the social leg. This includes our interactions with others, cultural norms, and societal expectations. It's like the art critic who influences how the masterpiece is perceived and valued. Now, let's bring these three factors to life with a story. Imagine a child named Alex. Alex has a genetic predisposition for high intelligence. That's our biological leg. However, Alex grows up in a stressful home environment and develops anxiety, our psychological leg. This anxiety hinders his ability to perform well in school, despite his high intelligence. Now, let's add the social leg. Alex's teachers and peers, unaware of his home situation, label him as lazy and uninterested in learning. These labels further exacerbate Alex's anxiety, creating a cycle that inhibits his psychological development. This narrative showcases how the biological, psychological, and social factors are not isolated, but rather they interplay with one another, shaping Alex's development. By considering all three factors, we can understand why Alex struggles academically, despite his high intelligence. This story illustrates the power of the biopsychosocial approach in understanding psychological development. It highlights that our development is a complex interplay of various factors, all equally significant. This approach allows us to see the whole picture of human development, rather than just one piece of the puzzle. And with this comprehensive view, we can better understand and support individuals like Alex in their unique developmental journeys. Our psychological development is a journey that continues throughout our lifespan. It's a journey that takes us through different stages of emotional, cognitive, and social development, each with its own unique set of challenges and rewards. Imagine a newborn baby, for instance. From the moment they open their eyes, they begin to experience a rush of sensory information. This is the start of their cognitive development. As they begin to learn about the world around them, as they grow, they will start to form emotional connections, first with their primary caregivers and then with others. This is the beginning of their emotional development. Fast forward a few years, and you'll see a child in the throes of social development. They are learning how to interact with others, how to share, cooperate, and resolve conflicts. They are beginning to understand the concept of empathy and are starting to form friendships. As teenagers, they go through a period of intense emotional and cognitive development. They are grappling with their identity, their place in the world, and their relationships with others. Their cognitive abilities are also expanding rapidly as they learn to think abstractly and critically. In adulthood, the journey continues. Adults are constantly learning and adapting, whether it's navigating the complexities of the workplace, managing relationships, or raising children. Even in old age, psychological development doesn't stop. Older adults often experience a shift in perspective as they reflect on their life and legacy. Throughout this journey, it's important to remember that development is not just about reaching certain milestones at certain ages. It's about the ongoing process of growth and change, influenced by both our genetic makeup and the world around us. This journey of lifespan development beautifully illustrates the complexity of human psychology. It shows us that we are not static beings, but rather we are constantly evolving, influenced by an intricate interplay of genetic and environmental factors. From birth to old age, we are constantly developing and changing, shaped by both our genes and our experiences. And that, my friends, is the beauty of the journey of lifespan development. Certain periods in our lives are particularly vital for our psychological development. These are known as sensitive and critical periods. You might be wondering, what do these terms mean? Well, let's break it down. Sensitive periods refer to a window of time in an individual's development when they are more responsive to certain stimuli. During these periods, the individual is more likely to acquire certain skills or abilities. Picture this. It's like a window that's wide open, inviting the breeze of learning to flow in. On the other hand, critical periods are a bit more rigid. They are specific times in development during which certain events must occur for normal development to proceed. Imagine it as a door that, once closed, is difficult to reopen. Let's take language acquisition as an example. The sensitive period for learning a new language is generally thought to be before puberty. During this time, children can pick up languages relatively easily and even achieve native-like fluency. However, once we move past this sensitive period, language acquisition becomes significantly more challenging, although not impossible. A classic example of a critical period is seen in the case of Jeannie, a child who was isolated from social interaction until the age of 13. Despite intensive rehabilitation efforts, Jeannie was never able to fully acquire language, highlighting the critical nature of early development for this skill. But why are these periods so significant? Well, they emphasize the complex interplay of timing, genes, and environment in our psychological development. They show us that development isn't just a matter of learning at any time. There are optimal periods when we are primed to learn specific things, and missing these windows can have long-lasting effects. This isn't to say that learning cannot occur outside these periods, but rather, it may require more effort or may not be as effective. It's a fascinating demonstration of how our biology and environment work together in shaping who we are. These periods highlight the intricate interplay of timing, genes, and environment in our psychological development.